So welcome everybody. Today we're doing create a study schedule workshop. This is a working workshop. So it's not just us telling you information. We're actually hopeful by the time you leave today, you're going to have a written study schedule for how to get all your assignments done and how to make sure that you're attending all your virtual classes that are asynchronous. So since this is a working workshop, if you haven't done this already, here are the tools you need. You want to get some sort of a 7-day calendar, and like I have this one printed out. Can you guys see it? This one printed out. If you don't have a printer, you can just use a piece of notebook paper and make a grid and do it that way. If you have a computer monitor that's big enough, or you have 2 computers, you can, work in a digital program like Excel while you're listening to the workshop. So you decide what works best for you, but you want to have some way to kind of put together how you're going to do that. Maybe you have a planner that you use, like a written planner. Okay, so you want some scratch paper because we're going to have to tabulate some information. A pencil, because you go, and eraser, because you might have to erase stuff, and then maybe a calculator if math is a little challenging. We are going to be adding up some hours, and if you're using a paper calendar, colored pencils are helpful to color code, although you might do that after the workshop. Okay.
All right. So step 1. Choosing a method for creating your schedule is really important. So there are different types of, calendars that are available for you digitally that you can use. Google Sheets, that's one that I'm pretty sure everybody is familiar with. There's also the Student Schedule app that you can download as well, and you can have with you on your phone. That'll give you reminders. On important dates, study time, school, classes, homework, everything a student is going to need to remind them of upcoming important dates, right? We all have, school's kicked off, first week of school, and I'm pretty sure we have some important dates already. We all have our phones with us, and having that app downloaded, to get those reminders is extremely helpful. And then, you can also just print your schedule out. A lot of us still prefer that method of, physically writing down important dates on a calendar, or on a whiteboard or whatever, but having that physical paper is also really important. And there's some resources online that you can print calendars, such as calendars.com, and then there's also the CI study calendar that you can also go in there and just print and download and print study schedules to help remind you about these important dates.
The Google Sheets, that URL that's showing right there, I created a Google Sheet that's an Excel doc that you could use. So if you want a template, you can download it into your own Google Doc and modify it with your schedule. So there's different ways to do it. Today, you're probably going to do it on paper and then eventually transfer it into something digital. So here's the, here's the printout that I just showed you. But you can create a grid on notebook paper that just has the 7 days of the week and half-hour time slots. So we'll give you guys a couple minutes here to put together how you're gonna do the calendar, okay? I'm gonna pause the recording while we give you some time. So does anybody else need more time to get your stuff together? Everybody good? Okay. Great. So So the first step was figuring out how you're going to put everything together. So now step 2, what you need to do is input your classes. And some of your classes may be what we call synchronous, which means they're live Zoom lectures, or perhaps some of you are actually in some of the handful of on-campus classes we have. So put those in first, because you have to be there at that time to participate in that class. And then you probably have some classes that are asynchronous, meaning there's no live lecture, it's all pre-recorded. But you still need to pick time to do that class. So some students keep the time that was in the original schedule, and they make sure like every day they log in at that time and do it, or perhaps, you know, a different time of day is better for your energy levels. So take the time right now to input your classes, whether they're synchronous or asynchronous. Put in the time needed for each class. So if it's a 3-unit class, it's probably going to be a 3-hour per week class kind of thing.
Bonnie, even my asynchronous classes have meeting times that you have to be there.
Oh, that's great. That's great. Well, some of them do that. Some of them are a hybrid, so they might have both. So, you know, if you have to be there, put in the time you have to be there at that time, but then also, you know, if you know you're going to have to watch a 1-hour lecture, put in a time slot when you're going to do that.
Okay, thanks.
So basically this is like your core class time, you know, looking at the materials, watching materials, and participating in live classes. So we'll give you guys a couple minutes to do that, okay?
Thank you.
I'm going to go on to the next step. So after you've gotten your schedule in, and like I said, it should be the things that you're obligated to do, like attend classes, or for asynchronous classes, you might have an hour of lecture to watch. So you want things that you have to get done on a certain timetable. It's the first thing that you put in, okay?
The next step that you input is your work schedule. Obviously, it's extremely important that should always be included after you input your classes and the required live lectures and asynchronous lectures and whatnot. So whatever day you get your schedule, you know, depending on your job, as soon as you get that schedule, go ahead and start plugging it in. Some of you may have a set schedule every week that you already know, like, okay, I got to work, you know, Monday to Friday, you know, 8 to 5 or 9 to 5, whatever. But some of you don't, right? Some of you might have different schedules every week, and it's not set. So as soon as you find out your schedule, whether it's, you know, it's for 1 week or 2 weeks, as soon as you get that schedule, you want to go ahead and sit down and plug that into your schedule, so you know what days and times you have to study and to do the things you got to do. So plug in your work schedule, really important, as soon as you get your work schedule.
So this next step is a little bit more complicated. So this is where you're going to try to estimate how much time it takes for you to do homework for each class. And right now, it's just an estimate. You're going to make a list of your classes. What class are you taking, you know, for your lecture portion? Like if you have a science class where you have lecture and lab, you might have a lecture portion that you know it's going to take you 4 hours to do reading and the problems. Maybe the lab, it'll take you 3 hours to finish the lab up every week. And maybe you already know I'm going to need tutoring for that class. So you put in a couple hours to go to STEM Center. So basically right now, the first thing you want to do is list your classes and how much time you estimate it will take you to do your schoolwork. And I know that you may not know. And so right now it's just a guesstimate so that you can get used to, creating a schedule. And in a second, we'll talk about ways that you can start refining this estimate so that each week it'll get tighter. But for right now, make a list of your classes and a guesstimate of how much study time you need to complete homework between classes. Does anybody have any questions about that? Pretty clear. I know it's hard to figure out how much time you need to do your schoolwork. And so, going forward, the best suggestion I have seen is to start using a timer when you're doing your homework so that you can gauge how much time are you actually putting into each class. That's going to help you down the line to plan your schedule. Because one of the things that we see a lot with students is anxiety about the ability to get everything done. But if you start to know how much time it takes you to do things, then you can build it into your schedule. And then when you do put in that downtime to relax, you will relax much better because you know, okay, I have enough time to do what I need to get done. If you're using the Pomodoro method to do your homework, which is, where you do increments like 25 minutes of studying and then a 5-minute break kind of thing, include the breaks in that study time, the homework time. If you're going to go to tutoring, add that in to your schedule. And don't worry if you don't quite estimate it right, because down the line, we're going to have you put in some catch-up time where you can get stuff done that you didn't get done during the other blocks. So how's everybody doing making a list of how long it takes you to do each class? Good. Good.
It's surprising how many hours I really need for the reading and the lecture and all that. So
Yeah. Well, and this is when we see students understanding, like, especially if you're doing this in a study group, like everybody's creating a schedule and you're taking the same class and somebody says, oh, it only takes me 2 hours to read that. And you're like, wow, it usually takes me about 4 or 5. And sometimes that's how students start to figure out that, oh, I don't do it as fast as others. Maybe I need some extra supports in order to get it done in a more efficient way. So, yeah, it takes a lot of time, especially depending on the major too.
All right, and the next step is to go ahead and input, some homework and tutoring time into your calendar. Really, really important that you get yourself organized and create some time for you to sit down and do your homework. And if there is a specific subject that you are struggling with, that you go ahead and input that tutoring time now, and also become familiar with with how to navigate the tutoring services. That we have a whole nother workshop for that we will go over later. But for now, just try to estimate how much time it's going to take you to do your homework and to reach out to the tutoring centers to get that support, that additional support for those classes that you might be that you might feel you need to get that extra little support with.
Mm-hmm.
They have specific days and times for certain classes. Do you guys happen to have that schedule
No,
for tutoring?
no, I don't. They generally are open. They generally have tutors for all subjects through most of their hours. I can look up what the general hours. Are you talking STEM Center or LRC? I guess
LRC.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I know the times always change too, because they have different tutors every semester and just based off of their courses as well and their class schedule.
I'm gonna look at there. So we're looking at for psychology.
Thank you.
So for psychology, they pretty much have Seems like most days they have somebody all day. No, um, they do have gaps. Most days they have somebody there all day, but they have like 1 hour gaps. Or what day are you thinking that you might fit it in? I guess I could open it.
like either Thursday or Friday,
Okay, so
or
Thursday
I
they
guess
have
Saturday.
somebody all day except not between 2:30 and 4:30, but they have it all the way from 10 in the morning up until 8:30 at night.
Does it specify which psych class or just psychology?
It just says psychology.
Most of the psychology tutors, from my understanding, are there to help with that specific statistics class that we talked about earlier.
Gotcha.
But they're also there to support you with the content as well for the class.
Yeah. So Friday they have somebody from 10 to 12:30.
10 to 12.
Yeah, and they don't have anybody for psychology on Saturday.
Okay. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, hi, Bonnie.
Ramon, you want to share the next step of what they should do with their?
Yeah, definitely. So this is very important. You also, I know it's all business. We've been talking about, inputting your work and your class time and your study time, but you also have to put in some fun time aside for yourself and other obligations as well. I always used to input my Xbox time in there somewhere. So, I always had that little time to just kind of get away, or I put some time in there, just to hang out with my girlfriend, or I put some family time. I know we all have plenty of that right now, right? Because we're all home. So family is there all the time. So just plan, just give yourself some fun time. It's not always all business, or else you're gonna burn out early. By midterms you're gonna be done, and that's not healthy for you either. You want to be able to pace yourself and finish and make it to finals week, and because then it will be it'll be difficult. So you got to plug in some you time in there, some fun activities.
This would be a good place to also include some exercise time.
Yes.
Do exercise on the schedule. That's a good one.
Yes, definitely. You got a great point. Yeah, workout time is important. I always try to plug in my workout time. I know Bonnie always plugs in her walks and her gardening. So we all have different things that we plug in, even while we're working too, not just as as a student, but also as a staff member. We also take some time to do what we like to do, and that's really important.
Yeah. So take some time to plug that into your schedule right now. Okay. So the next step after you put in your fun time, because that's more important than getting homework done sometimes, right? No, I'm kidding. Step 7 is putting in catch-up time. Okay, so like I said, we don't always know how to estimate how long it's going to take us to do all of our classwork. And maybe every week you're consistently 3 or 4 hours per class, but then they throw in an assignment that's extra hard. So it's really important to build into your schedule catch-up time. And that's when you're going to make sure that you get everything done that you didn't get done during your homework time. And of course, this will vary week to week. But as you get better handle on how long it takes you to do your homework, it'll be less necessary to build in catch-up time. So go ahead and stick in some slots of catch-up time into your schedule.
So step 8, create a weekly time to review and revise your schedule. So you might want to pick a specific date, maybe like a Monday, at the beginning of the week, so you kind of have an idea of what to plan for that week. So maybe you wake up Monday morning, while you're drinking your cup of coffee and having, some breakfast. That's a good time for you to just kind of start planning out your, just to go in there and review your schedule, make any edits that you may need to make. Your work schedule may change, or you might have some other obligations that you need to take care of that are currently taking up another slot. So you might have to do some adjustments on there. So pick a time, maybe even like Monday morning. Makes sense that you would do it on a Monday morning and just update your schedule for that week or for the next 2 weeks.
This is super duper important because it's not helpful to have the same schedule every week when things change. And this is particularly important when you start having to do projects. And if you've broken your project out into steps, this is the step that really allows you to build that into your schedule so you get your projects in over time. There's one person here, I'm not going to say the person's name, who did this last semester and got done early because the person was really good about creating a schedule and getting everything done. So I think this step is key to success.
You also want to go ahead and just review your week, schedule time to look at your calendar each week. So maybe, 2 or 3 times a week, you go in there, you kind of just look at your schedule and see what you have going on. You want to review your exams for that week, like Bonnie mentioned, any projects that you have coming up, unexpected, projects that might require more time than you anticipated, so that's when you go in there and review and make any edits that you need to make. Homework, of course, it's not the funnest, but it's part of, being a college student. So review your homework for that week and just, then you make a list of these tasks that need to get done. Obviously, you want to prioritize a list. That's really important. Whatever assignments you have due that week or whatever exams you need to do that week are obviously going to be first on the list, and those are going to be really important. Then the ones that might be doing 2-3 weeks from now, you can push back, maybe make the edits for the following week and whatnot, but prioritizing the list is the most important thing that you can do. And also creating your study schedule for that week as well. You want to take that time to sit down and review all the information, all the readings, everything that you need to study for your exams, and just give yourself that time. And by giving yourself that time and not having to worry about when you study, it's going to relieve a lot of that anxiety and stress, because you already have that time blocked off on your schedule and it's there for you, and you don't have to think about like, oh my God, I forgot to study this week and it's Friday, or it's Sunday night. And then that creates a lot of anxiety and stress, and that anxiety and stress will leak into the following week. And that's not what you want to do. You want to have your week planned out and organized. And I always used to do this when I was a student as well. And I'm not a good night study person. I'm more awake and alert during the day. So that's when I would study, because at night I'm already burnt out. A lot of us work, we have school, we have a lot of things going on. By the time I get home at night and I sit down, I wasn't getting up. I was not getting up again. So, during the day, that's when I was most alert. That's when I knew I could retain most of this information. Some of you might be better, at night. You might, that's when you are in your zone, and that's when that's okay. Just give yourself that time though to study and plug that into your schedule.
Yeah, I'm a total night person. I do much better at night.
No, we're the opposite.
It's really important though to understand that. I think it's really important to honor what your energy is, especially for some people. with their disability might vary during the day. Because I know a lot of people, if they have anxiety, they do better in the morning and it's harder at night. And anxiety makes it harder to focus. So really understanding what's your optimum time. Like for me, I know that if I'm tired, I can do graphics very quickly and that kind of work. And because I do a lot of that for putting together these PowerPoints and you know, Ramon and I have different programs that we have to put stuff together for to promote on social media. So I do these things when I know I'm going to be more tired, which will be in the morning. And then the thinking work, I can focus on the later in the day. So that's a good point. Pay attention to your energies. Okay, so you guys, I love that you all came and joined us and did it, but this is the key to success here, is sticking to the schedule. It's not helpful to put it together and then not follow it. And I know it's very, very difficult to follow it. So remember that you're building a new skill here, which is the ability to follow this schedule that you set. You want to treat the times on the schedule like doctor's appointments. Okay, you're not going to miss your doctor's appointment. You're not going to be like, oh well, I didn't feel like going. You know, that's how you want to treat all those time slots there. You want to set reminders on your phone. So if you've built in breaks, set reminders on your phone to remind yourself to go back. Okay, and or if you don't like using your phone because it's too distracting, set reminders on, maybe you have a smartwatch or maybe you have a computer. Find some way. Maybe you have what is it, the Alexa? Doesn't Alexa like verbally remind you for things? So it's important to find a way to help yourself follow the schedule. If you don't get it right, don't beat yourself up about it. This is hard work to change how you study. So you want to just keep making your best effort. The biggest key is understanding how much time it takes you to study. And as you get into the habit of following the schedule, you probably will want to follow it, because then you'll realize, like, if I do this, then when I'm not studying, I can relax because I'm not going to worry about all the homework I have to get done. So this is key, guys. Follow the schedule. Okay.
Right. I also use my phone to schedule myself.
Good. That's good. Yeah. The phones can be distracting. In one of our workshops, I don't remember which one, we talked about using an app. There's an app that you can use where you can grow a little tree, and it basically locks down your phone so that you can't use your phone. And as long as you don't use your phone, the tree grows. And so that's a way to help keep you on task and not get distracted by your phone. Because if you use your phone and the tree stops growing, it dies. And if you actually grow trees in real life, they'll plant real trees. So that was a cool app. I don't remember the name of that app, but it was pretty cool idea.
Oh, I remember that one. Yeah.
You could Google it.
I could look it up what it's called while Ramon talks about this workshop.
Yeah. So
Bonnie,
you can,
would you send us an email of the link on YouTube for this? I know it's
yeah.
right there, but
Yeah. So
It's
these are
called Force.
so
Sorry
if,
to interrupt.
yeah, we have a YouTube channel, which we can send you the link to the YouTube channel that has all of these links. But Ramon, also,
thank you.
if I pop up the chat right now, it interferes with the recording. It puts a white box in front of the screen. So maybe Ramon can copy and paste it, or when I stop recording, we can copy and paste it.
so what I'm putting in there right now is I'm putting the link for this workshop, the how to get organized workshop. So if you have time, you want to go back to our YouTube channel and check this workshop out. This link will also, link you to our YouTube channel, so you'll be able to see all the different workshops that we have on there. When you get a chance, check this workshop out. So it gives you some extra tips on how to get organized, and you can combine today's workshop with that workshop and kind of combine the different tips. And I know we have some great apps on there that can also help you. I think that tree growing one is on that workshop, right, Bonnie?
I don't know if it's on that one, but the tree growing app is called Forest app.
Okay.
Forest app. So it's on the workshop we did on technology solutions to be more efficient. So
Oh, the app that you mentioned, Forest, is a paid app.
no, I'm pretty sure it's free.
Really? It costs $2.
Oh, I thought it was free.
You probably have a free version as well.
Or somebody has a free version.
Yeah.
But so here's our YouTube channel, which has recordings of all the workshops that we've done. There's been a lot, Ramon.
Yeah.
This isn't even a full list.
Yeah, we've done a lot. Every Friday at 11, we're here. We're here.
Yeah.
I have a quick question about the YouTube channel.
Mhm.
Is it possible to change the settings so I could save like a playlist on my YouTube of the sessions that I need to review frequently or that I found most helpful? Right now it's set on a settings that I can't save like today's session that's on the YouTube channel. When I tried to click the link, it said the
Oh.
setting is turned off. Or
Think
it's on a
you
hid
tried-
setting.
Oh, okay. You know what it is? Okay. So the reason why that is like that is because
Yeah.
wait, the video is set as created for kids, otherwise people who have restricted mode on. So we have a lot of students who are family people who have children, and if they have restricted mode on YouTube, they can't watch the video. So let me look into that for you, okay? Let me look into that. I'm not sure if there's a way to fix that, because I think if I put it as created for adults, then it's locked out of anybody who has restricted mode.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Cool. Thank you.
sure. Yeah. So here, so down there's the link to the YouTube channel. We do send emails every week reminding you of events through DOS. And so I always include that link in those emails too. So you will be reminded many times about our YouTube channel. You can also subscribe to it, and you'll get a message when we add videos. So go ahead, Ramon.
Okay. So we also have, upcoming events like our virtual skills survival workshop, which is this one that you're currently in right now. So every Friday at 11, Bonnie and I are here, going over different topics all related to this virtual environment. So please join us. A lot of you do on a regular basis, and we're extremely thankful for you showing up every week, and we couldn't have done this without you. So Bonnie and I really, really, really appreciate you showing up, and we love to hear about your success stories as well. It's awesome. And then Bonnie, I don't know, you want to talk about your diverse dolphins?
So yeah, next Wednesday, we're going to do the diverse dolphins at 10 a.m. And it's going to be for a virtual coffee, which basically means you just drop in at 10. I know we originally had talked about doing it on Monday, but there was a schedule change, so I had to move it to Wednesday. So I hope people can still come at that time. This is a first event for Diverse Dolphins this semester. So at that meeting, we'll talk about, how everything's going with school, but also some plans for future events. And we're really interested in having students, help participate in creating diverse dolphin events. So if you have any ideas for activities, we'd love to hear about it. We're happy to have students host, and it's just an opportunity. The Diverse Dolphins is a group for people with disabilities and those who support them. And so it's just an opportunity to socialize. And we don't do anything, formal. It's an opportunity to laugh and get to know each other and just kind of check in, in this crazy virtual world.
Yeah.
So we have some announcements from other departments. The library made an announcement. They would really like student input. They're doing what's called a library review. And what this is when librarians from other campuses will hold a forum where people can give input into how our library functions. But the people who work at our library will not be part of the forum. So this is an opportunity if you have some ideas for the library or want to even just say, hey, it works great for me. I'm really happy the way it's working. They could really use some student input on this. It's going to be Friday, February 12th at 11. So I guess you'd have to choose between us and them. But it is an opportunity, you know, really to have some input in how the library works. And if you're interested, you can contact Dr. Colleen Hari. Is that how you say it? Or Harry? Is that how you say it? She's one of our librarians here at CI. And she's coordinating it, but will not be attending.
We also have events through the MDC. So we have study groups, affinity groups, you know, cultural awareness as well. It's an awesome opportunity for you to meet and connect with other CI students. And they're doing all of this virtually, right? I know a lot of us are kind of looking for that, you know, social interaction with people. I don't know, it's difficult right now because of the virtual environment. It's very limited, right? You can't, this is as close to we get as we can get to actually socializing and you know communicating with other people. So you can always reach out to MDC and sign up for some of these events. The link is to their website is down here, and I'll go ahead and copy and paste that into oh, it's not letting me, onto the chat. Let me see if I'm able to do it on my end.
You know, they are doing a program. I don't think they're going to do their study groups like they did last semester. They're going to do study group programming where they're going to help students create study groups.
Okay.
Highly encourage you guys to participate in that.
Put the link in the chat as well. So if you want to check it out, please do.
Yeah, they have a lot of really good programming. Okay, does anybody have any questions about what we talked about today? Created the schedules. Does anybody want to show us their schedule they created? I'd love to see that.
What if you don't have a schedule to show today? Maybe could you show it to again in the future? How are we going to do that?
Next week, if you want to come next week and show it, that would be great.
Okay.
Anybody else? I'm going to stop the recording right now. Thank you guys all for coming today and creating your study schedules. And we'll see you next week.